Hey there, welcome to day 43 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1152 after a draw yesterday where I gained 1 Elo point because he was a little bit higher rated than me. And let's go ahead and hop into a 15-minute rapid game. Okay, let's go ahead and play d4. We're up against an 1168 from India, and we're going to play the London as usual. A little unusual to see that move so quickly. I think I'll just go ahead and develop the knight normally. If he wants to take that, should be fine. And do I want to go for c4? I'm not entirely sure. Like, there's some positions where c4 is better. I think this might be one. I think if they played c6, it generally is better to play c4. So maybe I'll develop the bishop first. Or I could go ahead and do this first. Because I don't really want him holding this pin on my knight. Let's just play c3 and just keep it simple for now. And then we'll play knight d2 and probably just go for the e4, e5 pawn push. That's normally a pretty solid way to play. Okay, he doesn't push the c-pawn, he blocks it in with the knight. So that does make me think c4 could be good, but I already played c3, so I think I'll just develop the knight here first. Alright, whenever the bishop challenges, we generally want to bring it back and hope to open up the file here for our rook. But most people at this level have not been taking the bishop when you drop it back. I think as you get higher up, it's pretty rare for them to take the bishop. So we normally just maintain the tension between the bishops here. Alright, let's develop our bishop here. Prepare for e4. So I think that that's a mistake because I have two attackers on the knight. So unless I'm missing something, I think I can just take the knight. This is still covered. Now we are up a pawn. So maybe that was a slight oversight by him. I can drop the bishop back. I could also go ahead and trade here first. I don't know if there's a benefit to that. And I could also just take this and double his pawns. It would open up his rook to get into the game a little bit. But I don't like the idea of doubling his pawns. Let's probably just go for that. Now, actually, the only thing is with my knight, I don't have a second way to defend it aside from my pawn here. So it is going to remain pinned to the queen. If I do this, he can take and I have to mess up my pawn here too. So I think I'll just take... Actually, if I take here, he gets to undouble his pawns though. I could go here. He could block with that. Then I have to go back, so that's not great. Probably we'll just go here with the knight once I can free it up, or maybe... Yeah. I do want to go here with the knight. I would like to block this. I might end up having to just double my pawns. Let's probably just castle first, although if I castle he can take and open this up. So I don't like that. It's not a huge deal. I am up a pawn, but I just don't like that he is both threatening this and maintaining this pin at the same time. If I go take, castle, that's probably okay. Could also just go here. Let's just castle, and if he opens this up, then whatever. Yeah, that's what he does. I think I'll... Do I want to take this way and open the rook? It does allow me to then defend the knight. So typically it's better to tick towards the center, and maybe it is in this case. But I think the benefit of unpinning the knight to the queen and freeing it up is probably worth it. So let's just do that. And then I do have a really nice square for the knight here. Once I can move the queen away. And then once my pieces are pretty coordinated, I definitely just need to think about what pawn moves are going to be good. So maybe expanding these pawns a little bit further. And potentially still kicking this bishop away, but he will just go back. But if I go here, I am threatening to capture it, as well as threatening the pawn. He protects the pawn. I think I'm going to move my queen somewhere. Let's just... Here. Yeah, I think I want to be able to move the knight, but I kind of like this square for the queen. Maybe here, actually, because then I can push this. Try to go for that pawn break, and then I put more pressure on this pawn. So let's do that. Right. He takes. We take back with the rook. I guess he didn't want the knight making it to this outpost. This pawn's double defended, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Can't really push my pawn here now, because then I only have one defender of this. I think I'd like to go here, and then prepare to go here. Okay, I think I'm totally fine with just taking probably like this. And then we put a little bit of pressure here. So far, I think we have a slight advantage in the position. Alright, he's defending the pawn again. It's twice defended. I can triple stack on it. Triple stack on the pawn. He'll need to go here. Okay, let's start with double stacking like this. And it might be possible to actually... Okay, he's pushing the pawn. Well, if he takes, he does have two attackers here. If I take, he can't take back, but it does leave me with an isolated pawn. But I also can maybe start trying to pressure this pawn. If I go like this, though, he can't take, because if he does take one, he only has one defender and I have three attackers. So let's just go like this, actually, and then we are threatening to take, and he can't. Go for the triple stack. And so we might be able to win his pawn here. We have four attackers. He has two defenders, and it's basically pinned to this rook. And if we can win that pawn, we'll be up too. So let's see what he decides to go for. He could maybe try to set up some other type of attack. Maybe, I mean, this pawn's covered. These pawns are pretty safe. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what he would go for. Could go for this one, but then I could push this one and then I have coverage. And also I do have this check. Don't know if it's really useful for anything at the moment. I think I'll just hold on to that check. And I can just plan to use it whenever the time's right. It's taking a little while to think about this one. But yeah, I think if he does take with the pawn, I'm just going to win a rook. Because take, and that's with check. Actually, that's... no, it's not mate because he can block with the queen. But that's going to be pretty bad for him. Alright, he's really taking his time. Okay, he pushes that pawn. But I think I can just take that pawn, or I could just take this pawn, and then if he takes here, I'll just take back. No, but then he can... No, he can't take with the queen. So I think the two potential moves are just take here, maybe take here with the pawn. I don't think so, though. I don't really want the pawn to be isolated, unless there's a clear benefit to that. Or we take here, and then we still have the same threat of capturing this pawn in the next move. He can't capture like that. It opens up this rook. But I don't see him being able to do anything with that yet. Take, 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 take. But he still doesn't have a check or anything crazy like that. So yeah, I think I can just take the pawn. Well, actually no, he can just take back with this rook. If he takes back with the rook right away. Still, we take, he has two defenders. We're threatening to take this. Just have to make sure my king is going to be safe. I can't tell which one's better, taking right away. I think taking right away may be better. But I feel like this is a little bit safer. So let's just go for that. Alright, he takes with the rook. Now we're going to take this pawn. Just make sure there's no immediate threats there. I don't think so. So now we're up 2 pawns. And I think we're going to be able to just trade everything here. Now, I also have the check. If check, you can block. No, but then I have 2 attackers on it, so I could just take. He can just go over. And I don't think I have anything after that. So let's just take here. And then we'll just end up probably in a rook endgame here. He can't immediately infiltrate here because the king is covering. And I think my goal is going to be to quickly cut his king off somehow if I can. And of course, if I can infiltrate here, that will be nice. I should probably be able to win a pawn. No, okay, he's immediately protecting it. So let's just... He's cutting my king off. I could drop back and try to trade the rooks and use that as a cover to bring my king into the game. Otherwise, I could go here, but that's just not really doing anything, and it kind of puts my rook on a weird square. I can go here, he could push, and then it's covered. So I don't think that does anything. I think I just need to figure out how to get my king over. So probably back, over, and then bring the king in. Go here. I think I'm okay with that. Let's go here first, though, and just try to see if he'll trade first. Okay, he doesn't want to trade, but now I can go ahead and get my king involved. I can push the pawn right away, but I think getting my king in to prevent anything here, protect these squares from his rook, is probably the best thing. Alright, now we can go here. And then I can go here if I need to. I probably don't need to right away. I can go here. I like that I'm cutting his king off here, but also my king is cut off. I want to get my king over to this part of the board. Should I just start pushing the pawns? I have to really be careful though, not to leave any loose pawns over there. I think I could push this pawn first. But if I go here, where does he go? He can give a check, then I come over. Let's try to see how he reacts to that first, because I'm happy to trade. Alright, he gives the check. We come over as planned, and now I have a path to come in this way. He's threatening the pawn, but if I just go here, he can't take it, and his rook is under threat. Oh, actually, I could have immediately gone with check. I probably should have done that. Yeah, that might have been better. Let's start pushing this pawn. I just have to be careful about this pawn. Okay, now I can just go here. He gave up this check. And if he does go back to cover, then we'll just trade, and that's fine. If he doesn't, then I should be able to just take this. Okay. Now, do I go here? Or do I go up? I think this move first, because it gives me both options. We go here. Can't go here. He could go here. Let's get opposition against him by coming into this square. I think that's how opposition works. He said accept draw. That's what he put a request for. We're declining that though, because this is a winning position. I don't know for sure that I'm going to properly convert it, because endgames are a little tricky, but I know that it's winning. Alright, we're going to play another pawn move and try to force his king to move. Because once his king moves, I think I can infiltrate. I could go here right now, but then he'll go over and then he has opposition. And he can't play this pawn move. Okay. So now I think I go over. Here. 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 I think I'm winning if I go over this way. I don't know completely for sure. I could also go here, and then his king can't infiltrate any of these squares. I kind of like that. Because he has this square to infiltrate. Oh wait, yeah, once I go over he has it. So let's go here. That's my idea, is cut off all the squares so he can't infiltrate at all, and then I can infiltrate. Hopefully that wasn't some kind of mistake. Okay. Let's just take this way with check. That's cut off, that's cut off. Yeah, so he's still pretty limited. Now he has to route himself over this way. Seems pretty slow. Actually, no, he still can't go that way because that's cut off. He has to go here, here, here. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Yeah, he has a long route to take. We have a pretty quick route. But yeah, you still can't come in. He doesn't have a path in. In fact, if I go here, it's even more restricted. Because he can't push this and then come here, here, and then here. But no, he can't do that anyway, because this is cut off, so I don't even think I have to do that. I think I can just take. Yeah. So now the game's over. I think. I can go here, yeah. Alright, now he should resign. No draw is happening. I think we converted our in-game pretty well. We got it in-game yesterday and today, which is cool. I like getting in-game practice in. Let's just start promoting another pawn. Unless there's an immediate... Yeah, I don't really... With extra pawns on the board, I don't really want to risk any kind of stalemate. Okay. Let's go here. And checkmate. Alright, we're up to 1160 now. That was a good game. I think I'll have pretty good accuracy this game. But let's take a look. Converting the in-game. And, I mean, I was up 2 pawns. So I think it was pretty straightforward, but I was glad that I don't think I played any big mistakes in the in-game. I think I did that all correctly. And the accuracy is quite high, 90.3. That's definitely one of my best ones that I've had for a full game. I do have a miss though, so I'm curious what that will be. And he didn't have a blunder, neither of us had a blunder. Also, it gave me a 1900 game rating, which is pretty nice. That's definitely one of the higher game ratings I've had. His was 1600. And let's go ahead. And he had no blunders, but he had 3 mistakes and a couple inaccuracies. And I had 2 inaccuracies too. All right, let's see the moves. That was best to go ahead and develop the knight there. Was that? Yeah, that was a book move of him. Okay. Normally you don't see that, but I see it now and then. But I guess it was still fine. I thought maybe it was a mistake by him. It preferred me to break the pin right away. Yeah, the pin did become a little bit of a problem later with the knight and the queen. But I wanted to get my bishop really active. That was a mistake. Yeah, because he just gave up a pawn. This was inaccurate. It wanted me to drop back instead of taking the knight. Let me see how much the eval bar changed. So plus 1.84, and that went down to plus 1.14 after taking. Castling was fine. That was a mistake. Even though I castled, it didn't want him to take that. Even though I no longer can open my rook. And then it wanted me to take with the outside pawn, the h pawn, which I suspected it probably would. But to me, it just made more sense to break the pin and have the rook defending the knight. So I took with the f pawn. But it still said it was excellent, so it was fine to take with the f pawn. It wasn't a big deal. And then here it wanted the queen out there to put more pressure on the pawn, I guess. And also pressure this one so his rook can't move. That makes sense. I was just keeping the king back here because I wanted to push the e pawn. Best. Excellent. And then he definitely made some mistakes shortly after here. So this was all best. We double up. That was an inaccuracy. It preferred doubling up with this rook first. I don't know exactly why. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then that was his mistake, pushing the pawn. It was a miss to triple up first. I mean, I could have already captured the pawn, But I wanted to take with the rook, which I ended up being able to do. So that was my thought process. I'm not sure why it counts it as a miss, because I don't think he can defend it either way. He can't take, he can't get enough defenders on it. So I don't understand why it was a miss, but I'm sure the engine has a reason. Maybe, let me click show follow-up. Oh, he could just push it forward again. That didn't even occur to me for some reason. He can just push forward one more time. Yeah, that was not even on my mind at all. But that makes sense. So I gave up the ability to take the pawn. But he didn't play the right move because then he pushed this pawn instead. And I was able to take it, that was best. He takes back with the rook, that's best. And then we just trade everything off in a completely winning endgame here for me. And then it looks like all these moves are pretty good. Yeah, that was best. Now I get my king over. They preferred that I just block it. I'm not sure why, because I really wanted my king to come over this way. Best. And then, yeah, here we forced the rook trade. Otherwise, he lost more pawns. Taking opposition was best. This was best. Okay, I'm proud of this move because I almost missed it. But I think this was super helpful because I didn't even give him a chance to come in. I think I was still going to win the race here, but it was a little bit risky, and it's hard to calculate, you know, every single move to take the pawn and then push your pawn across for both sides. So here we fully cut off his ability to access my pawns and help guide his across. He wanted me to push it again though and give a check, but for me I like just cutting everything off and attacking over here. And we have a plus 7.9 advantage, so that's like almost being up a queen just from this in-game structure. That was best, and I knew he was done for here because he had no way to get in. And then we just promote and then found a nice quick checkmate. So yeah, I was happy with that game. I really like the in-game practice. I want to do more in-games. A lot of my games kind of in the middle game with some crazy tactic or something. But I like when they go to the in-game and I can get some more practice, especially as I get to higher ratings and in-games are going to get more common. So I definitely enjoyed that, and that was one of my best accuracies. So yeah, we're up to 1160. We're coming up towards 1200. That'll be really cool if I can hit 1200, you know, maybe in the next week or so. And yeah, this has been day 43. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on day 44.